And we're live. Hey,
Hey,
Julian.
hey, Lisa.
I love chopping it up with you.
I know it's always a good time. Always a good time.
So, welcome to Radical Belief Unscripted. Today, we're going to spend a few minutes talking about radical belief, the whole start of the movement, my dope guest and friend,
Hey.
Julian B. Chiganda, and I'll introduce her in a minute. I want to get started by talking a little bit about how we even got here. So, Julian, you know this, for a year, I led morning devotions and I led devotions using Marshawn Evans Daniels' book. And over the course of the year, over 300 people. I don't know when you hopped in and when
It was
you,
towards the beginning. I was like there for a good part of the beginning.
yeah, we had people from Lithuania, a woman
Mm,
was, Ethiopia, a person from Nova Scotia,
wow.
the UK, and folks all over the country joining in, you know. And one thing women would say here and there, Lisa, you need to write your own journal. You need to write your own
Mm,
book. You need to create your own devotional. You need to create a workbook. I'm waiting for you to. And I kind of like, yeah. And so for a whole year, I used other people's devotionals.
mm,
And when it ended in December of 2024, I decided at some point to create an audio challenge. And that audio challenge was the impetus for Radical Belief.
mm,
But it wasn't until you and I started our partnership and our work together with
mm.
this. And you said to me, Lisa, I need you to write 2 to 3. Remember that assignment?
I should listen. I stay giving assignments. Okay, for all my clients.
I was like, what now? Two
mm.
to three assignments, telling your story, kind of introducing yourself.
Yeah.
And begrudgingly, I put pen to paper and I started writing out all the things that I believed or I thought um, challenged me and caused me to believe at a different level.
Mm,
Um, Things emerged like filing for bankruptcy,
mm,
my repossession, my husband walking out on me and 5 of our children,
mm,
no college education because I dropped out. Um,
mm.
I mean, story of thing after thing after thing,
Yeah.
not having food at one point. Um, and I said to myself, my whole adult life has been about radical belief. And I didn't realize it until that
Mm,
moment, until that time. So thank you for that
mm.
exercise. Thank you for that task.
And you
And,
did such an amazing job on the assignments. Like,
and those who buy the book, the journal, the 40-day journal, will get to read that part in the introduction of Radical Belief because
mhm,
you included it there. So
mhm,
that's kind of how we got here. I want to walk everybody through sort of your vision, how you worked, how you moved through some of the symbolism and the beauty. This is
mm,
such a beautiful product. So I want them to understand sort of that and even how it might help them as entrepreneurs who
yeah.
have their own books in their spirit and in their minds and want to
Mhm,
birth different things, courses or books or whatever.
yeah.
So let me give you a proper introduction. And this is the only thing I'm going to read, people, because this is
Please don't read that whole thing.
no. I'm not going to read the whole thing.
Okay, okay, okay.
I'm going to read the thing that I think people need to know about you. And Julian B. Chiganda, she is the chief visionary and the joy architect of Soul Therapy Media. And her organization helps other organizations build brands and cultures that heal, that connect, and that inspire. Her branding and communication expertise has powered campaigns for Steve Harvey, for African Union, for the National Urban League, and for Miss Iyanla Van Zant. And of course, Lisa Medley.
And of course, Miss Lisa
Um,
Medley.
I say to people, professionally anyway, when you see my professional presence, you see her. Because Julian created my logo, my brand palette, the voice of my work, much of it, my my I belong on
All
the
the
toilet
things.
table, and now my book and my card deck, Radical Belief. So, Julian,
Lisa.
Lakeisha said, let her read the whole thing. You are the one.
My girl Lakeisha.
Lakeisha, I'm with you, but she insisted.
Because that's going to take up half the conversation. And we got some things to get into.
So Julian, welcome and thank you so much from the bottom of my soul for everything you have done for Lisa Medley Executive Coaching and Lisa Medley, the person. It has been my absolute pleasure and joy to work with you, and I'm never turning you loose. Now that the audience knows a little bit about you, I want you to introduce yourself. Anything I left out that you want them to know. And I also want you to share your radical belief story.
Ooh, listen. So I am I love Lakeisha. That's my so Lakeisha, which is part of the story actually. She was one of the women who was in the pitch competition that I was part of this year. My
Oh,
very first pitch competition that I'd
what?
ever done. So when you talk about radical belief, listen, I got so many, but that's definitely part of the story because that's my very first pitch competition. So thank you for that intro, Lisa.
Yeah.
And likewise, it has been a joy. You are absolutely so much fun to work with. And I love the fact that we're able to collaborate and that you really trust me to be able to bring your vision to life. And I would say that's definitely my gift is I'm able to really not just see people in the physical, but really see and be able to translate that vision, whatever that is, whether it's a book, whether it's a brand, whether it's an exhibit. I mean, anything to do with design, and just translate that into something that I think touches people at the soul level. So that's definitely a gift that I recognize and that I'm very mindful of how I use it. I'm very intentional about it. And I love working on books because the one thing that I do say is that I truly believe every single one of us has a story to tell that can help somebody else. I know that to be true for myself. I know that to be true for you. Every person I've ever talked to in depth in any kind of way always have
When I
something.
first started working with you, one of your recommendations out of the like 9 or 10 was like write a book.
Sure was.
Girl, I ain't writing no book. We can move on to something else. Here we are.
Here we are. So I'm excited for you. I'm excited about all the people, and I know it's really targeting women, but I know that this book can really, and this journal can really, and really just the whole radical belief line has the power to support and help transform lives, especially as we come into this new year. Like it's so interesting. So before I get into my radical belief story, let's talk about how we even got to this project because we almost didn't.
That's right. We almost didn't. Right. You want to lead?
I'm gonna let you lead because it was
So I wanted to. I had landed on okay. I'm gonna write this devotional. It's time. And I had in my mind and in my spirit to launch on my birthday. And so it, this was a very quick turnaround. Now, the content was already there, so that wasn't the thing. It was bringing it to life. And I knew there was one person that could do this. One person. I emailed Julian. I emailed Julian again.
You did.
And she was entrenched in a big project. Weren't you doing
A
something in
couple of
Washington,
events that
right?
we
With the
were, yeah.
Washington?
Mm-hmm.
What is it? Washington
Washington Informer.
Informer. I was going to say
Mm-hmm.
intruder, Informer. And so I knew she was busy, right? But I also knew you would get back to me, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, she's busy, but she'll get back. And I didn't hear from her, and I was like, oh my God. And I wanted the launch on my birthday, and that was my gift to myself.
Yeah.
And so that was the push for me to just, okay, so if I don't hear from her in a week, I'm just gonna go. So I started collecting emails and other recommendations from people and start digging around. Who else could I get to do this? Because she and I may not be able to connect in time. Yeah. And right before I said, I'm just going to move on, she sent me an email, a response late at night. And I was like, she's in.
And it's so interesting because I know we have been playing email tag really for a few weeks. And like I knew, I had to get back to you, but as you mentioned, we were in the process of, it was actually 2 events within the span of a week that we were helping clients to plan and implement. And so when I was able to finally catch up on some sleep, I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to get back to Lisa. And let me tell you, I am so, but and this is part of radical belief, because it's like, you had to believe like, okay, I know she's not connected with me, but I'm still holding on because I just know she's the person to do it. Right. And then even for me, with the way this year, and this is part of my radical belief story, the way that this year has turned out for me, working on that project came at such the right time. Like, this year has been a year of radical belief for me, like 100%. So this is where when you're something's supposed to happen, or God has orchestrated certain things, like they're going to happen regardless.
It's going to happen regardless.
Yeah.
I could not imagine. I'm telling you, I held on because I was like, I can't imagine turning something this important over to somebody who doesn't. I knew you would get it. I knew you would get it.
Yeah. Oh no, it resonated. Like I said, this has been a year of radical belief for me. It's like, oh, we were definitely supposed to work on this together.
And then we were on the phone. And I typed I don't know why I was looking for a URL or something. And I typed something in, and the URL was available. And it was like, oh my God, grab it. Are you kidding me?
Immediately.
Grab it. And one of the things, I don't know if I said this to you or not, one of the things I asked God when I was trying to figure out what I would title the devotional, I don't want a name that exists anywhere else. I don't want it to, and it's hard to find a book title isn't owned somewhere by someone. The subtitle might be different, but
right.
And I went to Amazon and it was nowhere to be found. And then we found the URL, and I was like,
that part. I was like, wait, this domain is still a bit. Girl, you better snatch it right now.
Yeah.
Because these internet streets don't play. Listen.
Yeah.
Get it while you can.
Yes. So I grabbed it. Yeah. So here we are, ma'am. Here we are.
And you were asking me about my radical belief story. Because I do think all of us, if we really take the time, like we would be able to come up with more than one story about how just believing beyond what you see in front of you has carried you in ways that nothing else could. Like that
Absolutely.
belief is what has carried you. And I was like, oh gosh, which one do I pick? Like there's just so many to pick from. Like, where do I even start?
Mhm.
So I'm going to talk about this year because this was
Okay.
definitely a major year of radical belief for me.
Okay.
Um, so my background is in, how we met, branding, marketing, design, communications. That is like my passion, my love, my career that I actually got a degree in. So I'm actually doing what I went to school for. Um, but then in 2022, I attended 6 funerals in 1 year.
Mm.
And there is nothing like that much grief or loss compressed into such a short time frame to completely shift everything in your life. And so as much as I love the design, branding, communications work that I'd always done, I've always felt a calling to get more into the mental health, wellness, healing space, but I couldn't quite reconcile, like, how do I make it all work together? How does it make sense?
Yeah.
Um but after going through that in 2022 and just realizing that even though as much as I definitely went back into therapy, so therapy helped, but it definitely was not enough. And so I started looking at all these different ways that I could become whole again beyond just therapy. So I took a
Mm.
very holistic approach to my healing. And that was everything from dance to becoming a plant mom. Okay, I'm obsessed. I understand it now. Uh, like plants everywhere now. I just moved
Me
several into
too.
my room.
Me too.
Yeah, nature, food, like looking at everything that affected my mental health. And I said, okay, well, I know therapy is not enough. What is it going to take for me to become whole again? Because
Mhm.
that is not a place I wanted to stay. It was a very deep, dark place. And I know a lot of people are having challenges, especially this time of year, it can be really hard for a lot of
That's
people.
right. Absolutely.
Really hard for a lot of people. So for me, that whole experience was how God allowed me to turn my pain into purpose, because what
Mm.
I recognized was that in a very similar way, the process that I use to help clients build and transform brands is a very similar process to helping you to transform your life. And
Wow.
so I always look at, and I think you notice about me when I work with a client, I'm always like, well, what's your end goal? Like, what's your vision? What do you see? Because I always begin with the end in mind. And the same thing with your life. Radical belief takes you being able to see a vision. It takes you being able to go to the end and say, okay, if I truly believe this is possible, then what do I need to do in the here and now to make it to that end goal? So I started realizing, okay, like a lot of the things that you have to do, whether it's your life or your brand, it's very similar. And so that's where I said, okay, well, let's go. Like, we're going to pivot in a way, like we still do the marketing, branding, but it's a lot more purpose driven, very much personal development, spiritual health and wellness. That's very, very something I'm very passionate about. And at the same time, adding health and wellness experiences and products and all those things to what we do. So, literally, this past March is when I launched Soul Therapy Media. I pivoted, rebranded my company, launched Soul Therapy Media, and I decided, I'm like, okay, this is it. This is the most aligned I have ever felt in anything I've done in
I
my
get that.
career.
I get that.
Completely aligned and excited. And so I said, okay, well, if we're going all in, we're going all in. And they say the definition of insanity is to do the same thing and expect different results. So I decided that this year we were going to do something different. And this is the first time I had ever entered a business pitch competition, like ever. And so I said, okay, well, we're going to do all the things. We're going to do all the things, launching new services, getting into a business pitch competition. I mean, just doing all the things. And so I had to believe and just know that I knew that this was what I was supposed to be doing. And ultimately this is my end game. Like this is where I need to be in terms of the work that we're really doing now and focusing more on like the mental health and the wellness and of course the spirituality because that all plays into your wellness. And so entered this business pitch competition. I almost didn't enter it actually. I almost didn't enter it, but I did enter it about 3 months after launching my new company. And I said, okay, I got nothing to lose.
3 months
And
in and you're pitching.
3 months in, I was like, let's go. Ended up placing as a semi-finalist in the national business pitch competition, my
I'm
very
on
first
with
round.
it.
Then end up getting an innovation award from that same organization
Wow.
that I did the business pitch for. And on top of that, when we added additional services to the work that we do for our company for Soul Therapy Media, we added events, and I call it experience design because for me, I don't want it to just be an event that you come to and it's like, oh, that was a great event. No, I want you to have an entire experience that
Yeah.
is going to stay with you for some time. And the whole point of it was, it's about joy and wellness and connection. I think that's the thing that people are really seeking right now. So in our very first year launching our event and experience design services, we did 4 events, and that
Wow.
ended up being one of the biggest drivers of revenue for my company this year. So I had to literally had to radically believe that as we launch this new company that this is where I'm supposed to be, and to really just jump all in and trust that it was going to land where we're supposed to. And just it's coming from where I was, and dealing with all of the mental and just it's stress and the anxiety and all the things, and being in a place now where I had to trust God, like, okay, I'm not trying to stay here. So what do I need to do to move from this place? um that takes a whole level of radical belief that okay, if I say I'm going to do this, I have to trust that I'm gonna do my part and God's gonna do what God's gonna do.
And so listening to you and I'm wondering, because I know that there are people who are either watching now or who will watch later,
Mm-hmm.
who are business owners, who are homeowners, who are parents, who are wives, husbands, whatever. There comes a moment in time for all of us where we know things can't stay the same.
Yes.
So you said you experienced the 6 funerals. The grief is overwhelming.
Mm,
We can become sick and tired of being sick and tired. Those are my words, they weren't
absolutely.
yours.
Yep. Yep.
But
Mm-hmm.
just like something has got to give around here. And
Yes.
we know that we're in an environment unlike I have ever
Yes.
experienced. There are people who are jobless, homeless. I mean, I've never
Yeah.
seen so much
Yeah.
turmoil and chaos
Yeah.
at one time. And so the 6 funerals for you can mean, a year of no job for someone else.
Oof.
And what you said is, I knew it was time to do something different. It
Yes.
was time to pivot. That
Yes.
is not easy.
Oh.
And somebody listening may say, well, you're a graphic designer, you're a brand strategist, you're a marketing
Mm,
guru, and
mm,
you know all the things to do when it comes
mm-hmm.
to pivoting. And they
Yeah.
may look at themselves like, I don't have brand experience. I'm not a strategist. I don't have this. I don't have that.
Yeah.
But it was still hard as an expert.
Oh,
And as an
100%.
expert, you had to tap in to a greater source.
100%. 100%. And I knew it was time to pivot when I enjoyed the work I did, but it wasn't feeding my soul in the way it used to. And
Mm.
I knew that I had to go deeper. And the bigger part of it was also knowing that I never wanted anybody else to feel that whole, even though I'm surrounded with people who love me, like there's times where it can feel really lonely, like you feel like you're
Yeah.
alone.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is just because you either don't want to burden other people or you don't think anybody else is going through the same thing. And so as I started sharing, that's when I started realizing, wait, a lot of people are going through a similar thing, but we're not
Absolutely.
talking about it. So that was a big part of what I felt is my responsibility with the gifts and the knowledge I've been given. Like, okay, there has to be a way to let others know, like, you are not alone in this. So for me, that that pull was so strong that I couldn't stay the same because it would be even more uncomfortable.
That is what that year of devotions did for me.
Mm,
So I don't know if I said this at the top of the call, but I was called to do that.
yeah.
I was called to do that. I was sitting at my desk, and I'm telling you, as sure as I'm sitting here
Yep.
in my spirit, because
Mm-hmm.
I was already reading the devotional myself,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I heard start online.
Mm-hmm.
And before I could second guess, before I could go back and forth,
There you
I
were.
set it up and I hit live that Monday. That
Yep.
was a Friday. I hit live that Monday. And over the course of the year, I heard story after
Mm-hmm.
story, woman
Yep.
after woman, and men
Yeah.
participated as well.
Yeah.
Loneliness,
Yes.
sadness,
Yes.
unforgiveness, divorce,
Yeah.
poverty,
Mm.
abuse.
Mm.
It was over. And I
It's a
knew
lot.
then, to your point,
Yeah.
there are people who think they're in it by themselves. But
Yes.
when you collectively share,
Yeah.
and so I'm hoping radical belief, I'm believing that
Yeah.
radical belief is the solution, the answer, the
Yes.
thing that helps someone or others
Yeah.
understand that their story, that
They
I
need us.
understand their story through
Yeah.
what I share, and I hope and believe for their healing
Mm.
and for their wholeness.
Yeah. Well, and I think that the thing I love about what you're doing, Lisa, because it's not just the radical belief journal, right? You have the cards, you
I
have
hope
a
so.
whole online course, mini course. You have it's like a whole. You have the
It's a
T-shirt.
whole thing.
Um, and I think even more importantly to that end, what you're talking about is that you have this live community that you're going to be starting on January
January
5th as part of that.
yes.
Yes.
So devotions are coming back.
I
Devotions
know
are
people are excited about that.
devotions are coming back. I started telling people I've been crawling in y'all's inbox.
I
I've
love
been
it.
crawling in y'all's DMs.
Tell them.
I've been
Tell
all
them.
over social media because I know that I know that I know
Yeah,
the time is now.
it
And
is.
I know if you buy the journal, I know if you buy the
Mm,
cards, I know if you bring yourself to
yeah.
the Zoom room
Yes.
Monday through Friday at
Mm,
7:55 for
mm,
35 minutes,
mm.
you will be changed
Yes.
forever. I know it.
Yeah.
I've seen it. I know it. And there's
Yeah.
nobody that can tell me any different.
Yeah, yeah. And I think and I'm going to give you your props, Lisa, because we don't do this enough. But, as you were talking about reading my whole bio and all that, I think people need to understand too that you're not just coming at this from the perspective as a woman of faith. Like you're actually
Right.
bringing your coaching expertise and have even utilized some of that and how you developed all the content for the journal and the cards and the online course and all the things. And I think that's just an important thing for us to remember because it's one thing to believe, it's a whole nother thing to believe enough to actually take action.
Take action.
Yeah.
And so the journal is you brilliantly broke it up in these. So you and I partnered, but we have these, our divider colors.
Yes.
We start with that awakening, and I don't know. I don't know if
Oh, there we go. Yep, that's better.
you
That's
see
better.
it.
We can see it now.
So we
Yep.
start with the awakening, and then we surrender,
Mm,
and then we restore,
Mm.
and then we, to your point, we act.
Activation. Yes.
And in the audio portion, to your point, one thing I purposely did was created exercises and activities. So once you listen to the audio, that's 2 or 3 minutes. That's a reflection that's different from the book.
Mm-hmm.
It's an expansion of it. I'm putting you to work. Coach Lisa shows up, and Coach Lisa is putting you to work.
I know that's right. Because they say faith without works.
Is DEAD.
That's it. That's it.
DEAD. And so I'm so excited. I can't wait. So listen, before we run off, first I want to, if anybody's listening or on, or as you listen to the replay, visit radicalbelief.com to purchase your 40-day devotional journal. You can purchase the card deck. The journal is still on pre-order, but it will not be in about 5 more days.
In about 5 more days.
But
Yes.
I radically believe in to be on somebody's bookshelf. So if you own a bookstore and you're watching this, if you're a pastor of a church or a pastor's wife, you have a resource center, a bookstore, holler at me.
Yes.
I am happy to talk to you about getting it in your bookstore, your resource center. Visit radicalbelief.com. Before we kind of go, because I don't want to belabor this, this is such a beautiful design, Julian.
Thank you.
Tell us about how you got here to this. The peacock, which I love the peacock.
I love me some people. Yes, I love me a peacock.
Oh, and look at your card. I rest my hustle and I trust the flow.
The flow. Yes. That is the best place to be.
So tell us a little bit about the design.
Absolutely. So, when I work on client projects, again, I always think about like, what is the end goal? How does a client want their end user to feel once they actually engage with whatever the product is, whatever the experience is? And I think the biggest thing was just people feeling inspired and motivated and believing that they can actually achieve whatever it is that they put their mind to.
Yeah.
So for me, I had to really think about, well, what are some symbols that speak to that, to renewal, to being bold, to being expressive, to being radiance? Okay.
Yeah.
Because radical belief is a very bold statement. Like, you have to be ready to believe beyond anything that you have gotten used to in your comfort zone. And so for me, it was like, okay, the peacock, I know we had several different other options, but I think the peacock actually resonated with both of us for several reasons. One, peacocks are actually a very, very much a spiritual symbol. They represent renewal. In some Christian practices, they speak to the whole idea of eternal life and resurrection. So there's that part of it. And they also speak to divine transformation. Because if you think about it, when you see a peacock, more often than not, their feathers are usually bunched up, and then they start like that's where we got the word peacocking from. And they open up, and it's like they transform right in front of you. So that's really what radical belief was about. And of course, the beauty that comes with that evolution. Because I think so many times, as much as we talk about beginning with the end in mind, what I've learned on my journey is that the person that you become on the way to that goal, because the goal, once you get there, is going to change, right? But the person that you become on the way to that, fulfilling that dream, that goal, that's actually where the real magic happens, where the beauty happens, the evolution, the transformation. So, I just encourage people, as we get ready to step into a new chapter, like, do not get so caught up in what you did or didn't accomplish this year, or what you're setting your sights on for next year. Like, remember to really embrace the journey and be present, and then celebrate yourself as you see some of these shifts that you're making, because that's going to give you the motivation to keep going. And being part of the Radical Belief community and the challenges you're starting is a great way to be accountable to that and be
Yes.
along with other people in that community.
And Lord knows we don't like accountability, but Lord, we need it.
Need it. Need it. 100%.
Well, thank you so much for joining me.
Yes. Thank
It's
you for having
good to connect.
me.
I'm
Always.
gonna one more time give it up for Julian B. Chiganda
And
and
for Lisa Medley, the new author of
yes,
Radical Belief.
Radical Belief. Visit radicalbelief.com to get your card deck, to get your 40-day devotional, t-shirt, audio challenges, an entire collection. I am so happy to have it out in the world. I really, you just don't know. And I'm so excited for January 5th. If you want to join me on January 5th, listen, just come, show up. It'll be a live. You'll see it on LinkedIn. You'll see it on Facebook, probably on YouTube. But you can also DM me, message me, and I can add you to the email list. Any final words before we go, sis?
Listen, I want everybody to win. I'm here for everybody to win.
Yes. And how do people get in touch with you if they want some incredible?
Listen, come on, if you ready for that soul therapy.
Yes.
So just soultherapymedia.com is the best way to find us, and connect at soultherapymedia.com if you want to get in touch. But I'm just looking forward to what I know and I've decided is going to be an amazing 2026. And I wish that for everybody.
Yes, ma'am. Well, thank you everyone for joining. If you watch the replay, drop replay in the chat just so I know that you participated. And I will see you next week. I'm going to have my baby girl with me next week.
Oh, nice.
About her little radical belief story.
I love it. I love that. I'm going to have to definitely be there for that.
All right. Take care, everyone. Have a good evening.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.